For some NBA teams, buyer's remorse is real. They spent tons of money on free agents that they thought would take them to the next level, only for that player to crash and burn. Now these players are being paid way too much money for what they're giving their teams. In this video, I'm breaking down the biggest free agency fails of the offseason. How's it going, everybody? This is Troy. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notification bells. Quality and consistent NBA content several times a week on this channel, so make sure you are subbed up so you don't miss a thing. 400 likes is always the goal for these videos, so let's try to get to that. And let me know in the comments what players you think are the free agency fails for this year. And if we're talking free agency fails, you got to talk about Danilo Gallinari. Signed with the Atlanta Hawks, 3 years, $61 million after that sign and trade with the Oklahoma City Thunder. His contract is not matching his production in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, I know injuries have been an issue for him this year. They've limited him to under 20 games, and he's playing less than 20 minutes per game after that minutes restriction due to his injury. But this is not going to cut it. Gallinari, lowest points since his rookie year, worst field goal percentages of his career. This was a guy who was brought in to be a three-point shooter, help spread the floor for the Hawks, but he isn't giving you much from three, and if he can't do that, he's really not doing a whole lot else at this point in his career. I think this contract is bad now and will continue to age poorly through the rest of this deal. I mean, I could make a whole video on the Hawks offseason because they really whiffed with not only Gallinari, but Bogdan Bogdanovic, Rajon Rondo, Chris Dunn. All of these guys have some sort of issue that is keeping them from being the type of player that the Hawks were hoping they could be. But factoring in Gallinari's age, salary, and production, he is the one that I'm singling out here. You know, I had high hopes for the Hawks, but it has been painful when it comes to their free agent signings. And next up, you got Davis Bertans. He signed that 5-year, $80 million deal with the Washington Wizards. Prime example of a dude exceeding expectations in a contract year. Last year, Bertans averaged over 15 points per game, 42% from three on almost 9 attempts per game. He was the perfect floor spacer, stretch big kind of player for Washington. And you know, if they'd let him walk, they would have gotten killed for doing that, so they had to re-sign him. But when you sign a guy to a huge deal who's only literally had one pretty good season, then you run the risk of what is happening now happening, and that is him not living up to that contract. Bertans has had a really slow start to the season, hasn't really had his legs, look kind of out of shape. Could be turning a corner though. Bertans has improved his shooting and his points per game each month so far this season. And when he plays well, the Wizards tend to do well too. Still need to get some more good games from him though to keep him off this list. Still though, Bertans has got to step it up a little bit, Dobby B. And then what about Aron Baynes? He signed with the Toronto Raptors, 2 years, $14.3 million. Even more than Bertans, Baynes is showing that last season was a real outlier for him in terms of his production and helped him get that nice deal for this season. Baynes hasn't shown the three-point stroke that he developed over the last couple years, and that has been big offensive problems for the Raptors, and all in all has been one of the NBA's most negatively impactful players on both ends of the floor. I don't think Toronto was expecting for Baynes to make up for what they lost in Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol. But I mean, come on. Baynes has been losing minutes to Yuta Watanabe. Good thing next year is a team option for the Raptors, because at this rate, I don't even see Baynes making it to the end of this season. I also want to talk about DJ Augustin. Daryl Gerard Augustin Jr. signed a 3-year, $21 million deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. Algonquin for the good land. He was expected to be a leader on that Bucks second unit with scoring and playmaking, but Augustin has had a rough start to the season. He's had his share of shooting woes and just an overall lack of production for Milwaukee. And Augustin is already undersized, so you're not going to get a lot from him on defense. You need him to hit those shots. You need him to play make a little bit. Just haven't been seeing what we saw with Orlando last year, though. He's the type of player who is best when he's playing with the starters, so he can be that off-the-ball guy with more ball-dominant players. On this team, though, he's coming off the bench, and it remains to be seen whether Augustin is even going to be on the roster past the trade deadline, because there have been rumors that the Bucks were looking to upgrade that backup point guard spot. Then we've got Meyers Leonard, and can't say a whole lot about Meyers Leonard because the dude just has not played a lot this year. He signed that 2-year, $20 million deal with Miami. He's played a whopping 3 games and had a grand total of 10 points and 7 rebounds. Now he's out for the year with shoulder surgery. I mean, come on, he's got his bad shoulder. He can't even wave the towel on the bench anymore. I just don't understand it. You let Jay Crowder go, and then you re-sign Meyers Leonard to this type of deal. I don't understand it, but hey, get well soon to Meyers. We all miss seeing you and your Wolverine beard out there on the court. Then you got Steven Adams, who extended his deal after that trade to New Orleans for 2 more years at $35 million. This one might be a little controversial because we all know Steven Adams is a guy who can get some points inside, who can get some rebounds. He's a great interview, fun guy to be around. But I think this is a free agent signing that flew under the radar a little bit. I'm just not exactly sure why the Pelicans committed this type of money to Steven Adams, especially when you have a guy like Jackson Hayes, who they got in the lottery a couple seasons ago, who really needs to develop. This is significant cash for Steven Adams, who's an old school kind of center. He's a reliable anchor in the middle, solid defender, big body to play down low. But players with his types of skills might only be worth a third or maybe a half of what he's actually making. Jonas Valanciunas, for instance, better player, he makes less money than Steven Adams. Miles Turner, better player, makes about the same. Clint Capella, better player, makes comparable to what Steven Adams makes. I don't quite understand the signing here. Guys, that's what I think, but let me know in the comments what free agent signings your team is regretting. If it's your first time here, make sure you are subscribed to this channel so you never miss another NBA video, especially when there's breaking news and I'm going to go live on this channel. Also, make sure you drop a like on this video. Really helps out the channel, really helps in getting this type of content in front of the eyes of more people. I would really appreciate it. Make sure you check out the boxes on the screen for more NBA content just like this. Until next time, thanks so much for watching. This is Troy. Have a great one.